If you're looking for a steady job where you can get a college degree really fast and get into that job, healthcare is a really, really good field to go into. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ryan. I teach people how to earn college degrees really fast, like bachelor's degrees as quickly as 3 to 6 months. And in today's video, I'm going to walk through 7 of the fastest medical or healthcare related degrees. We're going to talk about healthcare administrative degrees, nursing degrees, like how to save multiple years off of nursing degrees, even pre-med. I've got some faster paths that I can show you. So hopefully this video will save you at least a few years if you're going into the medical field. Now, if you like videos like this and it adds value to your life, just click the like button and subscribe. Let's start with 3 degrees that are not pre-med and are not nursing, but are really solid health degrees. And these are going to be the fastest of the degrees, but you're not actually cutting people open and working on patients, still in the medical field. And we're going to start with healthcare management. Now, some pros and cons of healthcare management. Pros, it's super steady. You will always have a job if you're good at your job because there's just such a high need for administrative workers in the healthcare field. Now, in these degrees, you learn things like the administrative stuff, including billing and insurance and legal stuff, all kinds of just admin stuff. Now, this is a degree. If you go get this degree and then get a master's degree also in healthcare management, you could literally become like a manager of an entire chain of hospitals. Like you can climb really high in the ladder. The downside with healthcare management is that you usually start on the low end and you have to work your way up through promotions once you get the job. And normally these are more boring positions at the low end. Super, super good potential for growth, but the low end can be kind of boring. Now on the high end, you're talking like hospital CEO, chief operations officer of a hospital, but you can get into some lower positions like healthcare administration or medical and health services manager. These are like $110,000 to $210,000 per year job openings. There's also things like pharmaceutical project manager, like really random jobs in the healthcare field. There's just so much out there. The next on the list, let's talk about health and human services. Now, this is a degree where you're going to learn things like public health and policy, social work, case management, healthcare administration, community health, mental health, crisis intervention. There's a whole bunch that you learn in these health and human services degrees. A lot of people come to me and they're like, hey, I want to do master's degree in social work. I want to be a social worker. This is actually a really good degree to accelerate for your bachelor's to then go into a master's in social work. A lot of different angles you can take. But for jobs with like just a bachelor's in health and human services, you're looking at things like healthcare program director, social and community service manager, mental health and substance abuse program director. You can be a case manager, like pre-social work. So some of these are high paying, like a health program director would be a high paying job. Something like a case manager would usually be a lower paying job, but can grow into something more. Next on the list, the last of these 3 like non-doing surgery working on patients would be public health. You're going to learn things like epidemiology and disease prevention, health policy, global and environmental health, studying disease on the global or the community level. It's actually really cool. And you'll get into things like infectious disease control, health disparities, social detriments. There's a lot of unique things that you learn in a public health degree. Now for jobs, you're talking public health director, environmental health specialist, infectious disease specialist. And these positions can range like $80,000 a year to $200,000+ a year. It depends on kind of where you fall when you get the job and how high on the ladder you climb. But there's a lot of really unique opportunities, including inside the government with a public health degree. Now, let's talk about nursing degrees. Because nursing, like if you are a nurse, you will always have a job unless you're just really bad at your job. But let me show you some accelerated paths for the RN. One of the only self-paced RN programs out there is offered fully online by Western Governors University. If we go into their health and nursing programs, their bachelor's degrees, it's right here. It's this nursing pre-licensure degree. So you're doing the pre-licensure studies and then you have to take the exam to become an RN. The challenge here is it's only offered in some states. Like if this is not offered in your state, it means they don't have a partnership with hospitals in your area. So you can't go do all the clinical work at hospitals. So the thing is like, yes, you can learn a lot of the nursing stuff online, but the clinical stuff has to be done in person for the lower level nursing degrees. So if you live in one of these states here, this is the program I would recommend. It's this RN program offered by WGU, and it's awesome. If you don't live in one of these states, that's okay. You can skip your RN degree and become a BSN while skipping the RN degree. I know, like, I get it. It sounds totally crazy, but let me walk you through how to do this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google and you're going to search ABSN programs, okay? An ABSN program is an accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing, okay? This is a program that is not a traditional BSN, like a BSN is like a bachelor's degree in nursing. This is a program where you're skipping all the pre-licensure nursing stuff and you're becoming a BSN in like a year. The caveat is these programs are structured for students with bachelor's degrees that are not related to nursing. Step 1, you go hack a bachelor's degree that's not a nursing degree. Step 2 is to enroll in an ABSN program that will bridge you from any bachelor's degree to being a BSN in like a year. So let's say you went in 3 to 6 months, got your bachelor's degree that's not nursing, and then added 12 months, you're a BSN. You're talking like 4 to 6 years of nursing school. You just became that or hit the same level in like a year and a half. That's crazy, like saving multiple years, saving a bunch of money because of these ABSN programs. Now, if you can get your RN online through that WGU program I just showed, you should not use an ABSN program for your BSN. So the next degree on the list I want to talk about is a BSN, a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Now for BSN programs, if you already have your RN, there are tons of online RN to BSN programs. It just takes you from an RN to a BSN and you're just doing, like you're testing out of classes, doing bookwork. You do it really, really quickly. So WGU has one. Purdue University Global, if you go to their nursing programs, you are going to find these nursing programs. They have a RN to BSN, and we'll get into the MSN programs as well. Now, if you just had your RN, you're talking RN jobs, registered nurse jobs, maybe in an ICU or an emergency room or just at a random hospital. Usually the RNs, it's just you're a regular nurse at any hospital. You're just a regular nurse. Now the BSN, if you go do one of those RN to BSN programs, guess what? Like your job level increases and you qualify for cooler jobs. Now, what you can qualify for is something like a neonatal nurse, an ICU nurse for babies or premature babies, emergency room nurses, ICU nurses. Those are usually BSN nurses. Yes, RNs can get those jobs, but usually it's the BSN nurses that get those higher jobs. The next degree on this list is the MSN, which is a Master of Science in Nursing. So an MSN is just, you go to an online BSN to MSN programs. Western Governors University does have them. As you can see, they have the RN to BSN. But if you go to their master's degrees in health and nursing, they have these BSN to MSN programs and you can specialize. You can specialize in leadership and management, nursing informatics, nursing education, just straight nursing, becoming an RSN, like an advanced level nurse. So there's these online programs. Purdue Global does have the master's, ExcelTrack Master of Science in Nursing. And there are others as well. You're looking for fully self-paced, competency-based programs that take you to an MSN. Sometimes there are bridge programs that go straight from an RN to an MSN program and include the BSN. But let's get into some jobs. This is where nursing can get really cool. MSN jobs, you can be a nurse practitioner, which like sometimes you go to the doctor and you think you're seeing a doctor. You're actually seeing a nurse practitioner. They're like one level below a doctor and can diagnose you and things like that as long as they're working under the direction of a doctor. The next thing would be like a nurse anesthetist. Basically, you're doing anesthesia. You're still working under the direction of a doctor, but you're putting people to sleep for surgery and stuff like that. That's really, really cool. We're talking really high paying jobs like $200,000 plus per year to put people to sleep, and you're doing it as a nurse. Now you can also become a midwife if you have your MSN, or just being in management, being like a director of nursing or a CNO. These are high paying jobs as well. Now, the next degree on the list, let's talk about pre-med, because there are faster ways to get into medical school than just going through the grind for the first 4 to 6 years. And this is my personal favorite way to do it. Hack a bachelor's degree that's not pre-med, maybe like a healthcare management degree. If you go get that in 3 or 6 or 9 months, then you take a 12-month post-bachelorette pre-med program. You're essentially just studying all your pre-med, like your science classes. We're talking like your biology classes, your general and organic chemistry classes, your physics, your biochemistry. A lot of times these programs have MCAT preparation so that you can have a way better chance of passing your MCAT exams. But that's what these programs do. A lot of times, specific medical schools are really hard to get into. These post-bachelorette pre-medical programs are easier to get into. So a huge benefit here, let's use the University of Michigan's medical school as an example. They have an 8 to 14 month program that is designed to take you from any bachelor's degree to qualifying for medical school, your post-batch pre-med program. If you go through this University of Michigan post-batch pre-med program, your chances of getting accepted into University of Michigan's medical school go way up because it's a lot easier to get into a medical school from within that same university than it is to just go do some random online pre-med program and then go get into that medical school. Tons and tons of really, really high-level medical schools have these post-bachelorette pre-med programs. So if you're like, I really want to go to this particular medical school, if you go get just like a random bachelor's degree and get accepted in their post-batch pre-med program, you're just more likely to get into the medical school that you want to get into. Now, let me tell you, like, my channel is all about accelerating degrees. A post-batch pre-med program is not easy. It is hard. It is very rigorous, just like medical school. For good reason. You should not be able to fully hack medical school and test out of all your classes. That is not a good idea for healthcare as a whole. It's rigorous, super hard work, but you're talking like 9 to 14 months. You can go from any random bachelor's degree that you got really fast to getting into medical school. It's really, really cool. Now, choosing the right schools, choosing the right programs, that's step one. Step two, like once you find these self-paced universities that actually allow you to test out of classes and go at your own pace, you actually don't do everything the school's way. You skip homework assignments, skip textbooks, don't follow their structure because their structure just takes longer. They're in this to make more money. They're businesses, so they're structured that way, right? What you do differently is you figure out what you need to learn and you self-study and you test out of classes. And I call this process degree hacking. If you'd like to learn the process of how to go and do this stuff, I'm going to leave a link down below in the video description. It's basically my 3-step tutorial to go and earn college degrees in months instead of years. I did it in 9 months. I've helped students get bachelor's degrees as fast as 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. You can do it really quickly if you're willing to work really hard. I'll leave that link down below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you in the next video.